with Leo the Lip Durocher, the first team of our twin bill on two major league infields. The outset of the 1950 campaign, Durocher was being criticized from all angles. The Lip had swapped two hard-hitting outfielders in exchange for Ed Stanky on his left and Alvin Dark on the right. But last September, second-guessers, to say the least, were a red-faced lot. Red Stanky, one of baseball's most colorful and controversial players, looked like the class of the league around the Keystone sack. Stanky is Durocher's type of ball player. The fiery second sacker has a burning desire to win, regardless of the cost, and can be counted upon to go all out for 9 innings any day and every day. In the field, Stanky completely justifies his nicknames, the Brat and the Pest, for his depth and accurate defensive play has robbed many a hitter of an extra base knock. Eddie is at his best when the pressure is on. He'll always come up with the rally choking save or hammer out a hit when the blue chips are on the table. Last year, Stanky enjoyed one of his best seasons under the big top, hitting the pill at a fancy 300 clip. You ask, are the Giants high on him? Well, Eddie's salary was recently up to a reported $35,000. At shortstop, it'll be Al Dark, the other half of the Giants' barter spoils. Al teamed up with Stanky to give the New Yorkers that much-needed defensive strength around the Keystone Station. Dark came to the Giants labeled as a malcontent, but he fit like a glove into the New York plan of action, and his play had Durocher and his coaches purring with contentment. Dark started out with the Braves, fresh from LSU 4 years ago, and after being voted the Rookie of the Year in '48, Dark was victimized by the proverbial sophomore jinx. But Al came back strong with the Giants in 1950. His fielding was respectable, and at the platter, his Black Betsy played a 300 tune for the greater part of the season. The major part of the 1950 campaign found Henry Thompson patrolling the hot corner for the Giants, and as a rookie, Thompson turned in a satisfactory job. A long ball hitter, Henry averaged around the 275 mark. With a year's experience under his belt, Thompson looks like a good bet for the third base position. However, the Giants have Jack Lorkey, a better-than-average infielder, who would like nothing better than the third base spot. Lorkey shuttled between Jersey City and the New York team for the past 2 years and is anxious to stick with the Giants in '51. The veteran Bill Rigney can offer top-notch utility roles in any infield position. First base was a problem for the Durocher men in 1950. Young Tookie Gilbert started at the initial sack, but later in the season, Monty Irwin took over and hit a booming 300. Durocher was thinking of shifting left fielder Whitey Lockman to the first base job, but it's a pretty certain fact that Whitey will roam the left field pasture. His lifetime batting average of 300 speaks for itself. Our guess is that opening day will find Irwin at first, Stanky on second, Dark at short, and Thompson at third. Now, from St. Petersburg, let's motor down to West Palm Beach and compare the New Yorkers' infield with that of the Philadelphia A's. Paris Fane covers the initial sack, and the fiery Fane is one of the best defensive first basemen in the league. Last year, he batted .282 and drove in 83 runs. He's shooting for the 300 mark in '51. Hermit Wall handles the hot corner for the A's, and the smooth infielder is showing great promise in his second year with the Athletics. Moving into the batter's cage, Herm is rapidly improving with the stick and aims to boost that 257 average of last year. In slow motion, watch the smooth veteran, Billy Hitchcock, cover the Keystone sack as it should be covered. Billy batted a neat .273 with the Mackman in 1950 and expects to have a better year in the coming campaign. Shortstop Eddie Joost performs flawlessly in the field, and the key to the A's infield is a powerful swinger, having 18 round trippers in the 1950 campaign. The utility infielding ace, Pete Sutter, blasts away in the batting cage. Now watch the A's infield combination complete a double play in Tel Ra slow motion. a combination that paced the American League in 1950 with 208 double plays, from juice to Hitchcock to Fane, a combination that gives great comfort to the pitchers. Venerable Connie Mack watches the 1951 team in training. Heavy-hitting rookie Lou Limmer is being groomed in the first base department. The stocky infielder Ed Samkoff, up from Sioux City in the Western League, shows promise with the bat. Manager Dykes likes his infield. How do they look to you? Batting power, the backbone of a winning club. And the Boston Braves have a solid group of batsmen in these 4 regular fence busters. Walker Cooper, the Braves' veteran backstopper. Tommy Holmes is the newly appointed player manager of Hartford. Earl Torgerson takes care of the initial sack. And Willard Marshall is a dangerous clouter. Walker Cooper came to the Braves from the Cincinnati Reds in the middle of last season. Walker batted a sizzling .313 last year, drove in 64 runs, and was a stalwart behind the plate. Earl Torgerson played in 156 games at the initial sack and will continue at his old position in 51. Earl had 23 round trippers, drove in 87 runs, and ended the 1950 season with a respectable 290 batting average. Tommy Holmes, the new player manager of Hartford, is high on the Braves' outstanding player list. He holds many of Boston's all-time top marks and is especially proud of having batted safely in 37 consecutive games in 1945. Bob Elliott will cover the hot corner. The hard-playing Elliott led the Braves in the RBI column last year with 107 and turned in a 305 batting average for the year. Bob would like to better that mark in 51. Willard Marshall, another power hitter, is out to regain some of his 1949 form. Marshall, a free-swinging left-hander, can tag those long balls. He would like nothing better than a regular outfield berth. Outfielder Sam Jethro is now starting his second year with the Braves. The speed merchant from the hills of Pennsylvania had a remarkable year as a freshman. Sam pilfered 35 bases, hit 18 home runs, batted a moderate .273. His outfield defensive work is improving, and his speed on the base paths constantly annoys the opposition. Walloping Sid Gordon blasted 27 home runs in 1950. The valuable left fielder batted .304, drove in 103 runs, and is a top performer in the field. Boston fans should feel rather optimistic about the coming pennant campaign. As a final prep to the Major League's 1951 seasons, inner-city battles were popular throughout the majors. Tel Ra brings you the clash between the pennant-winning Phillies and the Philadelphia Athletics. The A's new manager, Jimmy Dykes, and the Phillies' Eddie Sawyer start things off jokingly, of course, by choosing sides. Viewing the proceedings was general manager of the Cleveland Indians, Hank Greenberg, shown here discussing a possible trade with manager Dykes. Bobby Shantz toes the rubber for the Macmen, while the Phil's ace right-hander, Robin Roberts, works for the Phils. Both clubs start the season with strong hopes. The Phils for another pennant, the A's for a place in the first division. The A's lead going into the bottom of the fourth, 1-0. With the count 3-2 on Willie Jones, Bobby Shantz grooves one down the middle, and Pudd'nhead promptly blasts it into the left field upper tier stands for a tremendous four-bagger. With the score knotted at 1-all, the A's moved into the fifth. Eddie Juiced promptly tees off on Roberts' first pitch and lines it off the right field wall for a screaming double. Elmer Vallow keeps things rolling by driving a single between first and second. Juiced heads for third and then digs for home, scoring the A's second run, while Vallow holds up at first. Roberts' offerings are all to the A's liking as Paul Lehner levels a long drive deep to center field. The ball skids off Ashman's glove, and the fleet center fielder hits the turf. Elmer Vallow crosses with the A's third run as Lehner races for third base. Ashburn pursues the elusive ball, but Lehner pulls into third with a tremendous triple. With the count 2-2, the A's cleanup hitter Sam Chapman wallops a Roberts fastball into the upper deck of left field. Lehner scores the fourth A's run, and Sambo Chapman circles the bases and heads for home with the A's fifth run. Roberts quells the fire, and the A's lead 5-1. Fireman Jim Constanti, number 35, loosens up and prepares to take the long walk. The A's fail to score in the sixth, and with Hank Wise on the mound, the Phil's Del Ennis hammers a 405-foot drive into the center field bleachers for the Phil's second run of the game. The circuit smash of Del Ennis is the last run scored by the National League champs. The A's get one in the eighth and one in the ninth and hand the Phillies a 7-2 lacing on 9 hits as against 8 for the Phils. The rampaging A's are serving notice on rival American League clubs that they'll be tough to beat in the coming race.
Opening day ceremonies at Yankee Stadium. Manager Casey Stengel raises the second straight World Championship flag that he's won with the Bronx Bombers. Stengel predicts another repeat this year. Catcher Yogi Berra and sportscaster Mel Allen help to start another campaign, United Cerebral Palsy's Home Run Baseball Bank. They get theirs from Chairman Bob Hall. Then it's play ball as the Yanks initiate their season against the Boston Red Sox. Bill White pitching for the Sox. Phil Rizzuto lays down a bunt in the first inning and is thrown out at first. Here's the first trip to the plate for rookie Mickey Mantle. The 19-year-old converted infielder from Commerce, Oklahoma, is the most talked about freshman in years. Mantle grounds out door to Drobo. Vic Raschi strikes out Sox captain Bobby Doerr. The big right-hander is having a perfect day. Lou Boudreau, ex-Cleveland manager, now playing shortstop for Boston, lines to left fielder Jackie Jensen. White deals to Jensen in the fourth. He hits. It's into the right field stands for a home run. Jerry Coleman comes in and is followed by Jackie Jensen as the Yanks open the 1951 season with a 5-0 win over the Yankee Millionaires.
The 7th Regiment Band sounds off in New York's Yankee Stadium before a crowd of 50,000 as the Yanks and Red Sox turn out for the opening of the 1951 American League season. Joe DiMaggio and rookie Mickey Mantle of the Yanks and Ted Williams of Boston share the pregame spotlight with Guerra, Red Sox catcher. Managers Casey Stengel and Steve O'Neill get together, while Yankee shortstop Phil Rizzuto swings a bat. And Boston left fielder Ted Williams slams a couple. Manager Stengel raises the World Series banner of the Yankee champs on the center field flagpole with the hope that it will still be flying in the breeze over the Yankee Stadium at the end of the year. The ceremonies end as Lil Phil Rizzuto gets the Most Valuable Player Award from the league president, Will Harris. When the play begins, a rejuvenated Joe DiMaggio, despite an early throwout, puts in a useful day. And Yogi Berra does his part to roll up a count of 2 in the 3rd and 3 in the 6th, with Vic Raschi on the mound tossing a shutout for the Yanks. New York 5, Boston 0. As Detroit meets the White Sox at Comiskey Park, George Kell, Tiger third baseman, has a splint on his right hand. He'll be out for another week. Johnny Groth, Tiger center fielder, swings a mean bat. White Sox pitcher Kretlow warms up for business. Newhouse, a Detroit star hurler, gets ready, while Kell and manager Rolfe haul down the Tiger dugout. And hard-hitting Evers of Detroit get set to go. When the man says play ball, consistent hitting begins to score for the Tigers. Pretty collects himself a single. Under the eagle eye of manager Rolfe, Wirtz gets a single, putting Pretty on 3rd. Then Groth gets a triple. And it all ends up Tigers 7, White Sox 6. Another big day for the Dodgers at the Polo Grounds in their second tanker with the Giants. And a whale of a day for 13-year-old Arthur MacArthur at his first American ball game. Jackie Robinson, Dodgers star second baseman, smacks out a homer to score 2 in the 5th, making the Brooks 1-up over the Giants. But on this one day, Jackie gets only half the attention of the 33,000 guys and gals in the stands. A lot of them can't take their eyes off the MacArthur box, over between home and first base. The young son of General Douglas MacArthur gets his big kick of the afternoon as Wes Westrom, giant catcher, belts out a 4-bagger to regain a 1-point lead. But the final score is Dodgers 7, Giants 3.
At Comiskey Park, the Chicago White Sox meet the Detroit Tigers in the rubber tilt of a 3-game series. Saul Rogovan is the mound choice of Bengal manager Red Rolfe. Southpaw Bill Pierce takes on hurling duties for the Sox. Second inning, man on second, Rogovan slings. Hank Majeski slaps to left field, and Eddie Robinson comes in to score the first marker for the Pale Hose. Majeski holds up at second with a double. With 2 out, Nelson Fox comes through with a hit, bringing in Majeski. But Fox is nailed at third as he tries to stretch his double. Pierce's pitch to Tiger Johnny Lippon is slammed at Chico Carrasquel, who makes a great force play at second. Fourth inning, Rogovan deals to Robinson. The Chicago first baseman larrups it, and it's gone over the center field wall for a 400-foot round tripper. That puts the Sox ahead 3-0. Jerry Pretty batting against Pierce in the 7th. It's a triple, which knocks in Connie Berry with the second Tiger run of the day. Pierce fans Tiger pinch hitter Hal Doherty for his 6th strikeout as the White Sox take the game 3-2. The 5-hit performance by lefty Bill Pierce keeps the surprising White Sox near the top of the American League standings.
Third baseman Henry Thompson of the New York Giants swings the bat to loosen up for the festivities with the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Polo Grounds. McGuire, Giants outfielder, joins the pregame parade at bat. Then comes teammate Noble, catcher for the New York's National League Cellar Tenants. Pirate first baseman Kiner warms up for his secondary duties as bat wielder for the Smoky Citizens. The boys from Pittsburgh see no reason why they should not continue right on to a fifth straight victory today. So everybody's out there oiling up the joints and the old sword arm and preparing to trim the Giants down to size. Even the rookies get into the act, taking advantage of the opportunity to see how it feels at the Polo Grounds. A Giants quartet that knows its business is Thompson, third base, Irvin, first base, Noble, catcher, and Wilson, infielder. Sal Magley, 34-year-old Giants pitcher, has a feeling he's got a big day coming up. Con Dempsey, hurler for the Buccaneers, has no idea he's only the first of four to preside on the mound today. The boys pour out of the New York dugout, and it's just too bad for all the hopes and ambitions of the Pirates. The Bucks try hard, and third baseman Pete Castellone burns out a screaming triple in the first. But four Giant circuit clouds clean out the visitors. New York 5, Pittsburgh nothing. In the District of Columbia, where the Senators are now holding down fourth spot in the American League, local interest centers on the recovery of one Sidney Hudson, ranking Nats hurler who has been out of circulation since an injury on April 1st. He's due back at work next week. Gilbert Cohen, left fielder from Western North Carolina, has been hitting .366 right up near the top of the league. And center fielder Irving Norton has been spearing the long ones as well as hitting consistently. Veteran Mike McCormick is real outfield insurance, and his .291 batting average looks okay in the box scores. Second baseman Cass Michaels, wearing number 7, exchanges a few with first backer Sam Mealy. Michaels and Mealy are both hitting well over their 1950 averages. Julio Marino, imported in 1950 from Havana, is doing well in his second season as a pitcher for the Senators, winning his only 1951 start. Conrado Moreira with 5 wins and 5 starts, and Sandalio Consuegra pitching .750 are two reasons why manager Bucky Harris feels pretty good about 51. The Senators may be short-handed in the pitching department for the moment, but everything's going to be all right so long as the boys keep that old batting average up where it means runs that pay off at the box office. When Bucky Harris took over the management of the Senators in 1950, he pulled the club up from 8th to 5th place in the American League. Twice before, Harris piloted the Washington team to the league pennant. He doesn't say he'll do it again this year, but for 1951, Bucky Harris has his eye on a high spot for the Senators. It's Ladies' Day at the Yankee Stadium as the Yanks and the Cleveland Indians prepare to go into the last lap of their 3-day series. Easter and Avila, infielders of the invading tribe, seem to feel that Cleveland stands a chance of getting revenge today for 2 shellackings. Manager Lopez of the Indians discusses with a few friends the possibility of a slight massacre, while catcher Tebbets and Coach Flowers take up the ways and means. That's right fielder Kennedy of Cleveland practicing out there at third base. And it isn't long before a batch of the Yanks take over to loosen up the pitching gear and sharpen the batting eye. The Yankee Clipper takes a last chance to toss a few before getting down to business. In the very first inning, DiMaggio hits safely over short to score Brown for the game's only tally. Allie Reynolds, Yank pitcher, keeps everything under control from here on in, despite the valiant efforts of several of Cleveland's best and the base runners to turn their hits into something more substantial. The final tally at the end of a close, tense game, Yankees 1, Indians 0.
Sports fans from all over the United States States and friends of Jimmy DeMerit came to New York City to pay tribute to one of the nation's top sportsmen, James DeMerit, at Toots Shor's restaurant. There's Joe Kirkwood Jr. and Jimmy DeMerit. As Joe Kirkwood, Joe Palooka in the movies, comes in to shake hands with Jimmy and Kerry Middlecoff. There's Jimmy DeMerit, Toots Shor, Gratlin Rice, Jimmy Johnson, Maurice Frank, Craig Wood, and Dave Griffith, all there just before the start of the banquet. There's a great shot of DeMerit, Shore, and Granny Rice, the dean of all sports writers, and a great friend of both gentlemen in the picture. Gala evening, and there's Phil Silvers, and Phil is now going to give Jimmy a big kiss, kid around with him a little bit. Phil is a great pal of Jimmy's, and he entertained that night. He came in there and had a lot of fun, entertaining and kidding with all the people from Sportland from all over the United States. And there's Eddie R. Carroll, Jackie Burke, Kerry Middlecoff, Jimmy DeMerit, Joe Kirkwood Jr., Don Amici, all in that picture. Getting ready is the great jockey. There's Bill Gargan. You've seen Bill on the screen. And there's Eddie R. Carroll riding yours truly with the rest of the gentlemen in the background. There's Willard Mullen, the great cartoonist, with Stan Musial, and Marty Marion, the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals. Freddie Corcoran. There's Dan Topping, president of the New York Yankees, and Jimmy DeMerit at the speaker's table. There's yours truly, who's the toastmaster of the dinner, sitting next to Jimmy DeMerit. It was a wonderful evening. Jimmy made a fine talk. There's Red Smith, and there's Tom Robbins, Morris Frank, and Jug McSpaden that runs the Palm Beach tournament with Frank Lee. There they are, standing together, having a grand time. Johnny Forsman, and there's Shirley Povich and Morris Frank, and that's the end of the dinner. A great night, a great evening for Jimmy DeMerit. Now we switch to Happy Chandler, who, in New York, makes it official with the league owners that his resignation is in the offing. He's giving a statement now to the press and to the radio in a different section of New York City, and he will retire after the All-Star game. In the greatest wholesale trade of the season, 7 clubs exchanged 21 players to beat baseball's midnight waiver deadline. The Yankees' Bob Kuzava, the winning pitcher for the Senators, came to the Yanks for pitchers Fred Sanford, Bob Porterfield, and Tom Ferrick. Kuzava, with a record of 3-3, is expected to become the Yanks' 5th starting pitcher. Stubby Overmeyer also came to the Yanks and the Browns in exchange for Tommy Byrne. To the Dodgers, Johnny Smits, along with teammates Wayne Terwilliger, Al Walker, and Andy Pafko, shown here completing a circuit smash. Pafko, who incidentally belted his 13th homer of the season in his first game with the Brooks, came to Brooklyn in a move that added more power to the already high-powered Dodger lineup. The Cubs received a long ball 300 hitter in the form of Brooklyn outfielder Gene Hermansky, shown taking the turn at first after a single. They also received relief pitcher Joe Hatton, infielder Ed Mexis, and catcher Bruce Edwards, who blasted a 3-run homer against the Brooks to give the Cubs a recent 6-4 win. Howie Paulette, Dick Howerton, Ted Wilkes, Dick Cole, and catcher Joe Garagiola went to the Pirates in exchange for fence buster Wally Westlake, who had blasted 16 home runs while in the Pirate uniform. And in his first game as a Cardinal, he blasted his 17th home run against the Phils. The Pirates' Cliff Chambers, who has a no-hitter to his credit, also went with Westlake in the exchange. And now, fans, let's hear from Paul Richards, manager of the Chicago White Sox.
Hi, sports fans. This is Norm Brooks and our special guest, Paul Richards, the manager of those amazing Chicago White Sox. Paul, good to have you with us.
Thank you, Norman. Glad to be here.
Now, let's get right into the business at hand. All the baseball fans in the country want to know how you are doing it, how you're keeping Chicago up where it is.
Well, Norman, about all I'm doing these days is turning in the lineup, frankly, and watching these fellows play ball, and it's quite a treat. Chico Carrasquel and Minnie Minoso, Eddie Robinson, Al Zarilla, and Nelson Fox, and a couple of pretty good catchers, and frankly, if you ask me I'd have to say that I should have to pay to get in.
Well, I don't know about that. Mr. Paul Richards has certainly added his more than 2 cents worth. Tell me this, Paul. The halfway mark of the season will be here, and do you think the White Sox are going to be up there all the way through the rest of the season?
Well, yes, I honestly can say that I do think the White Sox, I'll say, here's what I want to say. Truthfully, the White Sox are going to be hard to beat in every single game we play for the rest of the year.
Now, just why are those White Sox going to be tough? What have you instilled in them? Why do they go out there to take every single ball game and give everybody a rough time even if they lose it?
Well, Norman, I'll tell you something about that. Sometimes it's there's better foresight in a manager to surround himself with ball players who like to hustle rather than those whom you have to make hustle. And I believe here on the White Sox, we've got about 24 ball players at the present time who really like to hustle and take a great pride in the notices that the various newspapers are giving us about the great hustling Chicago White Sox. And I honestly believe that we just almost cornered the market on those players who really love to play ball.
Well, good, and I think they're following, of course, in the footsteps of their great manager, a great catcher in his day, Mr. Paul Richards. Thanks, Paul, for being with us.
Thank you, Norman.
With attention centered on the All-Star game, let's take time out for a look at the pace-setting stars of both leagues. In the National League, Gil Hodges of the league-leading Dodgers is burning up the league in the home run department. Gil has blasted 28 four-baggers and is currently ahead of the pace set by the great Babe Ruth. The card Stan Musial is once more heading for the National League batting crown. Stan is pacing the league with a .369 average. The former Pittsburgh star Wally Westlake, now driving Cardinals across the plate, leads in RBIs with 61. Brooklyn's Preacher Rowe with a .923 percentage gain from a 12-1 record tops the league in pitching. In the American League, the powerful Gus Zernial of the A's with 21 circuit smashes takes top honors in the race for the American League home run crown. Gus is also pounding the ball at a .294 clip. The A's Ferris Fain continues his blistering drive for the American League batting crown. Fain, shown here getting a free ticket to first, draws the respect of opposing pitchers with his league-leading .347 average. Teddy Williams with 76 RBIs leads in the run-producing department. Williams is also making a strong bid both for the home run title and league batting crown. Rapid Robert Feller with a top percentage of .857 and a 12-2 record leads the American League pitching department.
More than 70,000 pack Yankee Stadium as the world champion Bronx Bombers battle the desperate Chicago White Sox. This might be the last chance for the waning Sox to stay up in the American League pennant race. Nelson Fox leads the Chicago attack in the first inning. He slams the pitch to right field and beats the throw to second as he slides in under Rizzuto with a double. Fox on third, Minoso on first. It's a steal. Minoso makes it to the Keystone sack. Now two men are in scoring position. But Big Vic Raschi bears down. He fans slugger Eddie Robinson. His first of 12 strikeouts in the game. Now there are two away. Ed Stewart comes through with a single to right. Fox and Minoso dent the plate with 2 runs as the Chicagoans take the lead in the top of the first. Yanks half of the first. Lou Cretlow hurls, Joe DiMaggio tags it, and it's gone into the left field seats for a home run. That's good for 2 markers and ties the score at 2 apiece. Cretlow deals in the bottom of the 5th. Joe Collins nails the pitch, and it's off the center field wall. 2 Fox fielders chase the ball as Gene Woodling comes in to score, and Collins makes it to third with a triple. Bobby Brown at bat for the Yanks. It's a pop single that brings in Collins. Brown goes down to second on the throw to the plate. Yogi Berra comes through with a single to left. Brown scores as the Yanks go ahead 5-2. 2 Yanks on base in the 6th. The man at bat is Joe DiMaggio. He larrups it to left. Ed Stewart bangs into the wall in a vain effort as DiMaggio comes through with his second circuit cloud of the game. Brown precedes the Clipper round the base paths. DiMaggio circles the bases and comes in to score as the Yanks win 8-3, deflate the Chicago pennant hopes, and take a 2-game lead at the top of the American League. At Ebbets Field, the Dodgers battle the Giants in a traditional interborough tilt. Ralph Branca hurling for the Brooks in the first inning with a man on. Monty Irvin tags it. It's into the lower center field stands for a round tripper. Don Mueller comes in to score the first run of the game. He's followed by the big Giant left fielder as he runs out his 14th circuit clout of the campaign and puts the New Yorkers ahead 2-0. Second inning, Larry Jansen on the mound for the Giants. He deals to Dodger catcher Roy Campanella. It's into the lower left center field seats for a home run. Andy Pafko comes in with the initial Dodger tally. He's followed around the base paths by Campanella. This is the 21st four-bagger for the Brooklyn receiver. Fourth inning, Bud Podbelan deals. Dave Williams gets hold of it, and it's out of the park for 4 bases. Larry Jansen dents the rubber, then it's the Giants' rookie second baseman circling for his second Major League home run. That puts the Giants ahead 5-3. But Billy Cox, the Dodger third baseman, has something to say to umpire Art Gore. The arbiter doesn't have any sympathy for Cox's complaints, and the third baseman is ejected from the game. Then Pee Wee Reese takes up the cudgel, and a real dish of rhubarb ensues. Net result is the complete banishment of the Dodger bench, and those Dodger rooters express their opinion of the situation. Sixth inning, Rocky Bridges rolls to the infield, but this time it's the Giants' turn to have a go at the umpire. Manager Leo Durocher trundles out to protest, and the Brooklyn fans indulge in their favorite form of self-expression. Same inning, the pitch is into the dirt, and Roy Campanella scoots in with a Dodger run. Campanella at bat in the 7th. He larrups it into the left field stands for his second home run of the game and his 22nd of the year. That gives the Dodgers the game 6-5 for a clean 3-game sweep over the Giants. Firmly kills off opposition to Brooklyn's dash for the National League pennant.
The rampaging New York Giants, with Leo the Lip Durocher at the helm, are just about the hottest team in baseball. Durocher has just guided his Chargers to their 9th straight win. The Giants are a typical Durocher team. There isn't just one outstanding player, just a hard-fighting, well-knit organization. Pitcher Sal Magley, with a 17-5 record, is the bellwether of the staff. Big Jim Hearn has turned in his share of victories by compiling 11 wins against 7 losses. And teammate Larry Jansen is right at the top with a 15-9 log. George Spencer has been superb in relief roles. And the addition of young Al Corwin, a youngster who has shown plenty of stuff, may be just what Durocher needs in that home stretch. Even though Eddie Stanky has slowed down considerably, he's still the top hustler in the Giant infield. Watch Alvin Dark blast a single to right center. That's why he's leading the Giants in the hitting department. As Willie Mays advances Dark with a timely single, it looks like Durocher has found the answer to his problem of having a fast, hard-hitting center fielder. Bobby Thompson, after taking over third base, covers the hot corner as if he belonged there. And with the heavy club of Monty Irvin continuing to beat out a 300 pace, you might say the Durocher men have a well-rounded pennant contender. And after 9 straight victories, it's no wonder manager Durocher has his boys convinced that they can overhaul the high-flying Dodgers.
More than 38,000 excited fans packed the Polo Grounds in New York as the Giants tangle with their traditional rivals, the Brooklyn Dodgers. Cinderella man Jim Hearn, with 13 victories this year, is on the mound for the Durochermen. Big Don Newcomb is the hurling choice of the Brooks. Giants ahead by 1 run in the top of the second inning. Dodger catcher Roy Campanella singles to left field. Andy Pafko at bat, but Campanella beats the throw as he steals second. Pafko comes through with a base knock, and Campanella comes in to tie it up at 1 apiece. Fourth inning, 2 men on for the Giants with center fielder Willie Mays at bat. Don Newcomb throws, and Mays whacks it to the corner for a double, bringing in Whitey Lockman. Wes Westrom follows with a line single to left that scores Bobby Thompson, but Mays tries to make the plate too and is thrown out. Eddie Stanky draws his second walk of the game to fill the bases for the New Yorkers in the bottom of the 6th. Alvin Dark lifts a high fly to left field, and Westrom tags up and comes in after the catch. Don Mueller at bat. Newcomb deals, and Mueller tags it. It's into the stands for a home run, his 4th round tripper in 2 days. Jim Hearn dents the rubber at the plate and is followed across by Eddie Stanky. The Giant right fielder comes in with the 4th New York run of the inning as they move way out in front to lead the Dodgers by a 7-1 score. Phil Hogstad on the mound for the Dodgers as the lights go on. Mueller at bat in the 8th. He pickles it, and it's into the stands for a home run. That's Don's 5th circuit clout in 2 games and ties the Major League record. News of the birth of his son reached Mueller just before he came to the plate. As he follows Stanky across the plate, Mueller shouts, "It's a boy!" The Giants crush the Dodgers 11-2 and again become contenders for the National League pennant.
The spectacular drive for the Major League pennants is nearing its climax, so let's take a look at the teams that are battling down the stretch. The New York Yankees with a little of the old Yankee spirit, which is best typified in Joltin' Joe DiMaggio, and once more getting that pennant feeling and aiming for the top of the American League. With such stars as Yogi Berra contributing to the cause, and with youngsters like Gil McDougall shown here blasting a 2-bagger, knocking them in when the chips are down, the Bombers are really making it tough for their closest competitors. Receiving brilliant hurling from Ali Reynolds and Ed Lopat, the Yanks recently knocked off the Indians in a crucial 2-game series. Manager Casey Stengel doesn't complain when his boys go out and win when the chips are down. The Cleveland Indians are breathing hard on the Yanks and aim to breeze right past them. With Bobby Avila sparking the attack, the Tribe are within easy striking distance of dethroning baseball's world champions. The Clevelanders boast the league's top pitching staff, which is headed by Bob Feller, their ace right-hander. Bob has already notched 22 victories against only 8 defeats. Manager Al Lopez, in his first year as the Tribe's boss, is fighting every inch of the way, and only a red-hot team will keep the Indians from playing in the World Series. The Boston Red Sox form the 3rd team in the battle for the American League flag. The Beantowners were off to another slow start, but have pushed their way into the heat of the pennant race. Johnny Pesky, the Red Sox star infielder, has contributed heavily to his team's recent winning streak. And when Pesky gets on base, who's better qualified than the great Ted Williams to drive him home? In the National League, the team that went to the front early in the season, the Brooklyn Dodgers, are still winging their way toward the senior circuit title. Led by their heavy-hitting second baseman, Jackie Robinson, the clan from Ebbets Field can boast some of the league's top stars. Take Gil Hodges. Here he tickets one for the bleacher rights in left center, one of the 38 circuit blasts that have kept the Dodgers on top. Chuck Gresson should be wreathed in smiles with all that power and the league's top pitcher to boot. Here's Preacher Rowe, his star hurler, with a 20-2 log. A slow starter and a great stretch runner brings us to the only team who could catch the Dodgers, the New York Giants. The Durochermen recently cut the Brooklyn lead to 4 games, the smallest since July 4th. Led by Bob Thompson's heavy bat, the Giants are knocking on the Dodger door. Another contributing factor to the success of those amazing Giants is the hard-hitting team captain, Alvin Dark. And with pitcher Sal Magley having already notched 21 victories, the Giants might sneak home with the National League flag.
Since July 15th, when A.B. Chandler officially bowed out of office as Commissioner of Baseball, Major League Club owners, after 2 meetings, finally came up with a new czar of baseball. Ford Frick, the National League president, shown in an interview with Mel Allen, became the new commissioner in the owners' 3rd meeting. The voting was done by the 16 club representatives and wasn't decided until the 2nd leading candidate for the job, Warren Giles, notified the owners that he was withdrawing his name from the balloting. Now for a look at the seesaw pennant battle. The Brooklyn Dodgers still maintain their lead in the National League. But the Phil's Robin Roberts checked the Dodgers in the first of a 3-game series. Aided by the grand slam homer of Willie Jones, the Phils edged the Dodgers by the score 9-6. Roberts, in winning, garnered his 21st victory of the campaign. Flamley Bean, the Dodgers star rookie, suffered his first defeat after 4 straight wins. The 2nd game found Ed Pellegrini blasting a single, double, and home run to give the Phils a 7-3 triumph behind Carl Drews, who made his 2nd National League start. Roy Campanello, however, had something to say about the 3rd game. The Brooks big catcher banged out a homer and 3 singles to help Preacher Rowe gain his 22nd victory against only 2 defeats. The victory kept the leaders 3 games up on their arch rivals, the New York Giants. Sal Magley kept the Durocher men in the battle for the National League flag as he notched his 22nd victory by beating the Boston Braves. Monty Irvin has been the big producer in the drive that has seen the Giants win 32 out of their last 39 games. The Yankees, in a crucial 3-game series with the Red Sox last week, came through in the first game behind the good right arm of Allie Reynolds. The Yanks made it 2 out of 3 when Big Vic Rashid limited the Beantowners to 8 scattered hits, thus winning his 20th victory of the campaign. Jerry Coleman was the big factor in the series that saw the Yankees move into a 2.5-game lead in the American League race. Mickey Mantle, the Yanks' fabulous rookie, has also been a tremendous help in the Yanks' pennant drive. The Detroit Tigers practically smashed Cleveland's pennant chances. Bobby Feller was the victim in the first of the 3-game series. And the Tigers' big bats of Vic Wertz and Frank House contributed heavily to the Tigers' 3-game sweep over the 2nd-place Indians. The Boston Red Sox behind Mel Parnell kept the Red Sox thinning pennant hopes alive when he spun a 4-hitter against the Yanks in their crucial 3-game series. Ted Williams was the big gun in the attack that gave Parnell a 5-0 victory over the Yanks' Ed Lopat.
The New York Yankees, for the 3rd straight year, blasted their way to another American League pennant. Allie Reynolds, the fireballer from Oklahoma, captured the limelight as he threw a no-hitter against the Boston Red Sox, his 2nd of the season. That feat gave the Yanks a tie. Then Vic Rashid in the 2nd game of the doubleheader twirled his way to a 11-3 win and gave the Bombers their 3rd straight pennant. Meanwhile, the hot National League chase was coming to a boiling climax. Leo Durocher's New York Giants came to Philadelphia for a 2-game series. They captured the first game 5-1. Now here's the second game, the game that moved the Giants to within 1 game of the fading Dodgers. In the first inning, the fiery Eddie Stanky worked the Phil's Ken Johnson for a walk. Alvin Dark also drew a free ticket. Then Bobby Thompson followed with a sizzling drive over Willie Jones's head. Stanky scored and the Giants led 1-0. With no outs, that brought Monty Irwin to the plate, and he promptly belted the horsehide high into the left field stands, 375 feet away. That scored Dark and Thompson, and the Giants started pitcher Larry Jansen off with a comfortable margin of 4 big runs. Jansen worked cautiously. And with brilliant support from Willie Mays, shown here gathering in Ashburn's fly, the right-hander allowed the Phils just 1 run. That came with 2 out in the second inning. The Giants added 3 more in the third. Then in the fifth, Don Mueller reached first on an error by Richie Ashburn. With Constanti on the hill, Wes Westrom came up and blasted a booming double that scored Don Mueller with the 8th marker. With Westrom on second, leadoff man Eddie Stanky stepped up to the plate. And the little second baseman promptly scorched a double over second to score Westrom. The Giants' final tally came in the 6th, and the unbelievable Gothamites walked off with a 10-1 win, a victory that moved them within 1 game of the Dodgers. Friday found the Giants moving into a tie as Brooklyn lost to Boston. Saturday, both clubs won, and on the last day of the season, baseball history was in the making. The Dodgers, now battling for their pennant lives, moved into the final game of the Phillies, a game that brought thousands of screaming Dodger fans into the Phillies' lair, Shibe Park. Beecher Rowe with a 22-3 log was slated to start for the Dodgers. Manager Eddie Sawyer sent Church to the mound for the Phils. Neither team scored in the first. Dressen's men also failed in the top of the second. Then the fireworks exploded. The Phils gathered 2 quick runs on Brown's homer and Pellegrini's double. Then with 1 out, Richie Ashburn came up. The fleet center fielder sent a slow grounder to second that Robinson fumbled. 2 more runs scored, and the Phils were off to a 4-0 lead. And the complacent Philadelphia rooters settled back for an easy victory. Ralph Brown replaced Rowe and got Willie Jones on a liner to left for the 3rd out. In the 3rd with 2 away, the Dodgers get 1 back when pitcher Branca walked and came home on Reese triple. Reese was stranded when Snyder lined a hot grounder to Brown, who threw to Church for the 3rd out. In the 4th, the Brooks star catcher Roy Campanella aims to catch the flying Phils as he blasts a tremendous 3-bagger to right center field. Andy Pafko then sent a slow roller to Jones, who threw wild. Campanella scored, and the Dodgers were creeping up. The beginning of the 5th inning found the Brooks trailing 6-2, but Carl Furillo started things off with a solid single. Pee Wee Reese followed with another 1-base blow. Then Duke Snyder forced Reese at second to score Furillo. That brought Jackie Robinson to the plate, and the heavy-hitting second baseman responded by lacing a tremendous triple to right center to send Snyder home at the 4th run. Andy Pafko gave Brooklyn their last run in that explosive 5th as he rolled a grounder between 1st and 2nd to score Robinson. The Phils came back with 2 more in their half and now lead 8-5. They held this advantage until the 8th inning. Gil Hodges started things off by lashing a single to left. And the Dodger rooters were holding their breath. Cox followed with another single. And with a rally in the making, the Flatbush fans were going crazy. Rube Walker came in to bat for pitcher Erskine, and pandemonium broke loose as Walker lashed a screaming double to center, scoring both Hodges and Cox. Gloom hung heavy over Phillies and Giant fans. Roberts came to the mound, and Carl Furillo greeted him with a crashing single to score Thompson. Running for Walker, and then the stadium lights were turned on. Dodger rooters went crazy as their heroes stormed from behind to tie up the ball game 8-8. Neither team scored until the 14th, when with 2 out, Jackie Robinson set his sights and sent a scorching home run into the left field stands to put Brooklyn ahead 9-8. Stirring climax to a brilliant victory, but the Phils failed to score in their half, and the men from Ebbets Field climbed from the depth of defeat to the heights of victory. Stout-hearted Charlie Dressen thrilled as his team pulled this one out of the fire to tie the Giants.
New York, the last 2 games of the World Series. The score in games is 2-2 as the 5th meeting gets underway. Larry Johnson pitching for the Giants in the 3rd inning. Joe DiMaggio gets the Yankees underway with a solid single. Gene Woodling scores for the Bombers as the Yankee Clipper goes to second on the throw. On third is Yogi Berra. Johnny Mize draws an intentional pass and the bases are loaded. Jansen will now face Gil McDougall, the Yankee prize rookie infielder. It's into the top deck for a home run, the 3rd Grand Slam homer in series history. DiMaggio and Mize precede McDougall around the base paths. The 5th game is a rollicking feast for the Yankees, who swamped the Giants 13-1 to take the lead in the series 3-2.
Next day in Yankee Stadium, it's the 6th inning of the 6th game with the score 1-1 when another walk by Big Johnny Mize loads the bases. Again, DiMaggio is on second and Berra's on third. The crowd is on edge as Giant hurler Kozlo gets a 3-2 count on Hank Bauer, and then a 3-bagger sails over the head of Monty Irvin. It hits the fence, and the Yankee parade starts around the bases. Berra scores, DiMaggio and Mize come in as the ex-Marine clears the bases with a 3-run triple, and the Bronx Bombers take the lead 4-1. But those 9th inning Giants aren't through yet. They have the bases loaded when Irvin hits a long fly in the last inning. Stanky tallies after the catch, and the score is Yankees 4, Giants 2, with only 1 out. Bob Thompson lifts to Woodling. Alvin Dark comes in after the catch. The score is now 4-3, and the tying run is still on base. But pinch hitter Sal Evars can't get his drive past the day's hero Hank Bauer. That ends the game at 4-3 as the Yankees take their 3rd consecutive World Championship. The magic number 6 was the lowering of the curtain for one of the most dramatic series in the history of baseball. For in Yankee Stadium, the 6th game of the 1951 World Series saw the World Championship of Baseball decided in a spine-tingling drama between the New York Giants and the world's champion New York Yankees. With 1 out in the 1st inning, the Giants starting pitcher Dave Kozlo throws one to Jerry Coleman's liking, and the Yanks' second baseman belts it for a stinging single right through the middle. The Bombers' Yogi Berra then steps into a Kozlo curve and bangs it 344 feet away near the wall in right center for a ringing double. Coleman pulls up at third and Yogi camps at second. With men on second and third, Kozlo purposely walked the Yankee Clipper Joe DiMaggio. Then Gil McDougall lofted a high fly to Willie Mays. Coleman tags up and streaks for home. The throw is wide, and the Yanks take a 1-0 lead. Goose eggs follow for both teams until the Giants' half of the 5th. The Yank mound ace Vic Raschi faced Willie Mays, and Willie smashes one through the middle. A 2-2 pitch to Dave Kozlow gets past Berra, and Mays races into scoring position. Eddie Stanky, the Giants' fiery Keystone guardian, steps up and promptly belts a long fly to left fielder Gene Woodling. Mays tags up and romps home with the first Giant tally. The inning ends with both teams deadlocked at 1-1. With one out in the sixth, Yogi Berra steps up. Kozlow stretches, throws, Berra swings and sends a liner down the right field line. Thompson fumbles the grounder and Berra moves into second. Strategy called for Kozlow to walk Joe DiMaggio. So with one out, DiMaggio on first. Berra on second. Kozlow faces Gil McDougald. The southpaw stretches, throws, and sends a wild pitch into the dirt. Berra races to third, DiMaggio to second. After McDougald lined to Thompson, Big Johnny Mize worked Kozlow for a walk. And so with Berra on third, DiMaggio on second, and Mize camped on first, the stage was set. The count goes to 3-2 on Hank Bauer. Kozlow stretches, throws. Bauer swings and booms a long fly over Irvin's head. It bounces off the fence in deep left field, clearing the bases and scoring 3 runs. Bauer rounds second and heads for third as Mize scores. Bedlam breaks loose for the Yankee followers as their favorite Suns forge into a 4-1 lead. The Durochermen jammed the sacks in the 8th but failed to score. In the 9th, with Johnny Sain on the hill for the Yanks, Eddie Stanky punches a single to left. That brings up the Giants' Alvin Dark. Dark bunts Sain's first pitch and beats it out to put 2 men on and the tying run at the plate. Whitey Lockman steps in and dumps Sain's first pitch into right field to load the sacks. And that's all for Mr. Sain as manager Stengel waves to the bullpen for lefty Bob Kuzava. Through with Stanky on third, Dark on second, and Lockman on first must face heavy-hitting Monty Irvin. Irvin crouches, swings and rockets a long fly deep to left center. Woodling has it, but Stanky scores and both runners advance. That brought up Bobby Thompson, who sent another fly to Woodling. Dark races for home and scores with the Giants' 3rd run. With 2 outs, Saul Evars bats for Henry Thompson. Evars hits the first pitch, and Bauer races over and makes a sensational catch, and the ball game is over. The jubilant Yankees take their 14th title as they down the New York Giants in the 6th game of the 1951 World Series by the score of 4-3. And the Yanks' victorious manager Casey Stengel on the left warmly congratulates Leo Durocher, the man who never gave up.
In baseball, the incredible New York Yankees once more rang down the curtain on an exciting year as they stirred the imagination of the fans by capturing their 14th World Championship crown behind the incomparable guidance of manager Casey Stengel. And here's why. Gil McDougald batted .308 and was the only rookie to ever hit a World Series Grand Slammer. Eddie Lopat turned in 21 victories against only 9 defeats and walked off with 2 series victories over the Giants. Big Vic Raschi also helped the cause with a 21-10 record. Completing the big 3 of the mound staff, Ollie Reynolds produced 17 wins, suffered 8 losses through 2 brilliant no-hitters. Scooter Phil Rizzuto is again the spark plug and the hub of the Yanks' strong defensive infield. And what more could you ask for in Yogi Berra, the Yanks' indestructible catcher who knocked in 87 runs, batted a respectable .294, and was voted the American League's most valuable player of the 1951 season. The Yanks border strategy didn't guess wrong when they brought up Mickey Mantle. His remarkable speed on the base paths and run-producing bat helped considerably in the final drive for the pennant. And perhaps the greatest incentive the Yanks had was the spirit of Joe DiMaggio. The Yankee Clipper has now hung up his spikes after 13 years with the Bombers, and his feats will long be remembered in the vast expanse of Yankee Stadium, the scene of his last Major League appearance. And now, let's review the highlights of the first game of the 1951 World Series. The score stands 2-1 until the giant half of the sixth. With Westrom on third, Stanky on first, and 2 men out, Yank pitcher Ali Reynolds, with a 3-1 count on Alvin Dark, stretches, throws, and Dark levels the pitch some 400 feet into the left field grandstand. A home run that boosts the Giants into a lead they never relinquished. Westrom crosses with the third run. Stanky with the fourth. And team captain Alvin Dark happily trots around the bases to score the 5th Giant tally. The Giants took the opener, but the Yankees came back to win the series and the Major League Baseball championship.